Welcome back. Have you had some time out of the workforce and you're struggling with a plan for re-entry? Laura Niebauer specializes in helping folks, especially women, relaunch their careers with confidence. She's here to tell us more about who she helps and what she offers. We're happy to have her. Laura, good morning.
Hi, I am so excited to be here.
Let's talk about your background and your specialty in helping people get back into the workforce.
Yes, so I actually worked in HR and recruiting for a little over 15 years before I took my own career break. And I became a mom, and then when I looked to return, I realized how challenging it is. Not only was I dealing with a career break, but I didn't want to return to the exact same thing I was doing, and I had new priorities and responsibilities as a mom, so it was challenging to find positions that met me where I was at. And then 2 years ago, I decided if I was having all this problems finding a job, which I eventually did. I landed 2 job offers, but it was always in the back of my mind that I can help other women. And so 2 years ago, I stepped back again, and I have started working one-on-one with other women.
That's incredible, because for so many people, it does make more sense to stay home for a couple of years because the finances of sending kids to daycare is just really steep.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
So we are dealing with people who might have taken a break, or for whatever reason, you're dealing with a sick parent or a sick child, something like that, and then you need to come back. It is really difficult to get that re-entry. And that's not the only problem that's happening right now. There are some other pain points out there in the workforce.
Yes. AI. I'm just going to say it.
Get it right out there, girl.
AI is changing the landscape of the hiring process. On one side, you have employers who are using AI more and more in the hiring process. On the other side, you have job seekers using it more and more in their job search process. But it's not working the way that either party wants it to, and it's just leading both parties to get frustrated. And it's eroding trust. And so my big thing is you want to get around AI as much as you possibly can if you're looking for a job. And the biggest way is to make human connections as quickly as you can.
Okay, so human networking, that's a big one. Let's talk about what someone should put on their resume after being out of the workforce for any period of time.
Yeah, so that's always a big question of what should I put. So my first tip is treat it like you would your other work experience on your resume. Give it a title, give it the dates, and then list 2 to 3 bullet points that speak to the roles that you are applying to. And some people are like, okay, yeah, great, but what does that mean for me? And so that's where we have a conversation about what have you been doing? And sometimes I'm met with, oh, I haven't really been doing anything. I'm like, oh, yes, you have.
You've been household managing.
Yes.
You've been doing lots of things.
You've been doing a lot. And so I have a little framework I like to use. 1 bullet point, if you've done any type of volunteering, if you've done any contract freelance work, even helping out a friend with their business, that is impact. That is experience. That can be 1 bullet point. Another bullet point could be if you're upskilling in any ways, which you probably should be if you've been out of the paid workforce for a bit. Things have changed. That shows that you're keeping current. And another tip is to join professional associations in the area that you want to return to. Because when you say, I'm an active member of, that shows that you're keeping current and you're forming great connections while doing so.
I was going to say, and then that gets to your human networking piece.
Yes.
That's the one-on-one face conversation that can lead to a job pretty quickly. Okay, how does someone explain their career break?
Yes, oh, another great one. So a lot of people wait till they're asked the question, and I say no. You want to get in front of it because you want to play offense, not defense. When you're asked that question, you're automatically kind of put in a spot of like, oh, I have to explain myself. They're judging me. Instead, you get in front of it. So if, let's say you're in an interview, a lot of times you're asked, tell me about yourself. Run me through your resume, some version of that. So go ahead.
Overwhelming question to start
yes,
with.
right? You're like, where do I begin? Do I begin in childhood? But as you are nearing the end of that question and you're getting into the career break section, you simply address it in 3 easy parts. 1, you acknowledge the fact that, yes, you've taken it. It can be as simple as saying, yes, I intentionally took a step back from the paid workforce to focus on family. That's all you're saying. Don't go into more detail. A lot of people are like, well, now I have an 8 and a 7-year-old and they're ready. I'm like, shh, shh, shh. Next is talk about something you did during that time that could relate to the position, such as during that time I had the opportunity to help run programming at Pine Forest Camp, where I ensured that campers and their families had an exceptional experience. And then the third point is to tie it back to the company. So let's say I was applying for a position at St. Louis House, a nonprofit here in Austin. You could say, which is actually what drew me to this position, because I know how much your company wants to provide an amazing experience for parents and their children in this transitionary time.
Yeah.
So you've hit all the bullet points. You took it, what you did, and the fact that it relates to the position.
I hear the confidence when you're talking about it.
Oh, you have to have confidence.
Bull by the horns instead of coming the other way around.
For sure.
And then how does someone even begin their job search? I think this is the biggest hurdle, really.
Yes. So the first thing is probably not as obvious, is that you need to be very clear on what you want. One of the worst things I see people do is like, I'm open to anything. But when you say that, that puts the pressure on the other person to figure it out for you. Well, what do you want? Well, and this is back and forth. If you're very clear and you say, this is what I'm looking for, then people are more apt to be able to help you. And then concurrently, you should be forming and nurturing connections. One of the worst things to do is wait until you need a job to start reaching out and forming those connections. Those should be done throughout your career break, just pretty much throughout your entire life. And that doesn't have to be complicated. It can be checking in every 6 months, just how are you doing? You want to meet for coffee, or you want to hop on Zoom. People are much more likely to want to help you if they don't feel like they're being used.
Yeah.
So those are the two big things. And I will say that a lot of people do apply online, and my biggest tip there is do not just apply online and wait. Immediately find who the hiring manager is or who your best approximation is, and send them a personal email addressing a pain point that you've noticed that that position has, because all openings are there to solve a problem, to solve a need. And your job is to show up as that solution as soon as you possibly can.
Okay, and just real quickly, what are your services and how can we learn more about working with you?
Yes, so I do work one-on-one with clients, and I have my website, lauraniebauer.com, as well. You can find me on LinkedIn. I also offer job search workshops, so I partner with the Austin Public Library. And so the next one coming up is August 15th.
Okay, sounds good to me, Laura.
Awesome.
Thank you so much for your expertise. We appreciate it. Learn more about her services online at lauraniebauer.com.